that like, this is not a death sentence. This is, I'm going to beat this thing. And it was just kind of from that moment, I was like, so I started wearing shirts that said, does this shirt make my head look bald?
And now, coming to you from the K2 studios in San Diego, California, it's the world famous Chris and Christine Show.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? How you doing today? I am Chris.
And I'm Christine, and welcome to episode 44 of the Chris and Christine Show.
Fantastic. I haven't dropped a good old fantastic in a while.
Well, like a week since last week's recording, right?
I don't think I dropped a deep fantastic.
That was kind of like a growly tone.
Well, speaking of growl, I think your stomach's growling because you're probably hungry.
You guys, I am borderline, like beyond hangry right now. It has been... I had breakfast this morning, but it's now like 5 p.m. and
From
I'm feeling it.
Breakfast till now, no food.
No food, just water, which is good. I guess it's healthy, but I am right now fiending for cupcakes.
Why cupcakes?
I don't know, because cupcakes sound good, and sometimes I get in a mood for like something. Sometimes it's like ice cream. And right now it's cupcakes. And so I was just trying to figure out at this time of the day in San Diego on a Saturday how I can get cupcakes delivered.
Do you like the bomb ones at, what is that place? Nothing Bunt Cakes, what it's called?
They don't make cupcakes. They make bunt cakes.
They're like cupcakes.
They're mini cakes. No, it's different.
I call them cupcakes.
But they bake differently because there's a hole in the middle. And so it's like a little bit, I don't know. Well, it's a little bit denser. Like cupcakes are light and fluffy. I love cupcakes so much. Oh, so much.
What is your thoughts on those mini cupcakes?
They're...
Like the ones that like one
tease?
bite, like one bite.
That's a tease. No, a cupcake's like got to be like a good 2-3 forkfuls, maybe 4.
I used to love making cupcakes. My mom used to make them, and I used to love when she made them because she would let me lick the bowl afterwards, the batter bowl, with my finger. And on the floor of the kitchen, as a kid, I remember getting down there and just licking that thing clean, and it was the best thing ever. And she made cupcakes. It's
a great way to get salmonella.
What? Am I going to die now?
Yep. Back to me. Let's talk about cupcakes. So, Chris, I was on a website trying to order famous Sprinkles cupcakes from La Jolla. And guess what?
Yeah?
They do not deliver to us.
Well, do they even deliver at all?
Yes, they do, but we are too far away, which it's actually like, look, La Jolla is like the closest beach area. It's a straight shot, but it is 15 miles, and I guess it's not worth their money. But girlfriend needs some cupcakes.
I'll go pick them up for you. Should I take the Z or should I take the truck?
Well, it depends on the volume of cupcakes that we're going to be selecting.
A pallet of cupcakes, put that in the truck?
I'm normally good with just one, but like they sell them by the box there. But honey, they have so many delicious flavors right now. But my favorite place to get cupcakes in San Diego is a place called Eclipse Chocolate.
Wait, you said cupcakes, not chocolate?
No, so it is a chocolate. It's a small restaurant. And they specialize in small batch chocolates, and they have like these nights where you can go to. It's called Build a Bar nights.
Build a bar. Build a bar of chocolate.
Yes, and you get to pick all of your different ingredients that you want in it. And so I've gone before and made my own custom chocolate bars, but they make these out of this world cupcakes, and they're getting ready for during 4th of July week, which is coming up, their cupcake extravaganza.
Now, is it like a bake-off kind of thing?
No, they have 15 different flavors of cupcakes. And this year they are selling their cupcakes in, I think it's like a pack. It's like $30 for a pack of 9, I think. And then $5 is getting donated to the ACLU.
Oh, okay, cool. That's pretty cool. Good. That's a good cause.
Yeah, I thought that it was a really good cause too. But I reached out to them on their little chat feature to see like what cupcakes they had today. They had peanut butter, and jelly, and strawberry rhubarb.
Really? What's rhubarb? What's that?
Well, it's like a vegetable kind of thing.
The vegetables do not belong in cupcakes. They are off the menu.
Well, there's something about it. I don't know if it's a root. I think it's like a root vegetable, but
it's kind of sweet a little bit.
It gets
kind
sweet,
of like very vague sweet, almost like a cantaloupe kind of sweet, right?
I don't know. I've never actually had rhubarb, but I've seen it, and it's like pink.
Oh, well, I
Right?
guess they got the color right.
But I wasn't feeling any of those flavors. I was willing to drive over to North Park and get myself some Eclipse chocolate cupcakes, but that's going to have to wait until the cupcake extravaganza. So needless to say, I am cupcakeless.
What
Chris.
is wrong with the ones you buy at Costco?
Well,
Or the ones you buy at the grocery store?
well, okay. Well, let's talk about Costco. Have you heard the controversy about what happened at Costco this week?
No. What happened?
They stopped selling sheet cakes
What?
because
I love their what the cheesecakes they have.
well, the sheet cakes they stopped, which I love Costco sheet cakes. I'd say just go get me one of those. Not that I would eat the whole thing, but they stopped selling sheet cakes because the rumor is that it was encouraging large gatherings.
Wait, but not at Costco. There's large gatherings at Costco?
No, that people were buying sheet cakes to support them with their large gatherings like
Are they
graduations.
banning kegs of beer?
No.
Or the big cases of beer they sell? Are they cutting back on those? Because those are obviously either someone who's got a problem or someone's having a party.
I don't know, but it's very interesting that there's been news stories for the last couple of days about Costco stopping to sell sheet cakes. And we totally agree with the
know
need
what?
for social distancing.
I think this is Karen's fault. We'll blame Karen. Karen, it's your fault again.
Who is Karen, by the way? Like, I wonder why people came up with Karen. I think, like, Pam, no offense to my family members named that, but I think that that's, like, more of appropriate than a Karen, because I've only met sweet Karens my whole life.
Somewhere out there, a Karen is going, gosh, why do they keep blaming me for everything? You know?
Yeah, it's definitely a trending topic right now. Hashtag Karen, hashtag whatever you want. But I say hashtag cupcakes. We need some good, solid cupcake deliveries in El Cajon, California.
Well, anywhere in the world for that matter, really. Doesn't Amazon do that?
Cupcakes?
Uber Eats, maybe I'm thinking of?
I looked up DoorDash and I looked up
DoorDash.
Uber Eats and I could not find reliable cupcake delivery at almost 5 p.m. on a Saturday night anywhere.
Well, there you go. I mean, who's eating cupcakes at 5 p.m. on a Saturday night?
Well, it's like anytime that people eat cake, it's normally a celebration in like the afternoon or evening. On the weekend, you would think the cupcake business was booming.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the cupcake business. I have no idea.
What is your favorite cupcake, though?
Oh, my favorite cupcake? Wow. Let me think. I'm not a bit. I guess maybe chocolate. Something chocolate.
That's so basic.
Yeah, I'm just a basic bee when it comes to cupcakes. Chocolate, maybe a little creamy, like drizzle on top.
What about salted caramel?
That too. That's what I'm talking about. The little salted caramel drizzle maybe on top. Like when you go to Starbucks and you order those froofy like Frappuccino drinks and they like take the Starbucks drizzle syrup thing dispenser and they just drizzle it all over the top of the whipped cream. I want my cupcake to look like that. Oh, and drop a little sprinkles on top.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. And maybe a candle with a one.
I love a really good, well done strawberry, no fluff, strawberry cupcake with like a vanilla buttercream frosting. That's so delicious, but no strawberry rhubarb. And then I love a good s'mores cupcake. And then
They make
nothing.
that too. I had no idea they made that.
Yes. And then nothing beats an amazing lemon cupcake.
Oh, really? Like a lemon bar type cupcake?
No, like a lemon cupcake, like lemon cake with like a vanilla buttercream frosting or like with a light hint of lemon.
You had me at buttercream anything. Buttercream frosting.
Yes.
Yeah, I love when I go to the store and on occasion I will buy the cinnamon rolls and you have a choice of regular or whatever. And I usually go for the buttercream icing.
Yeah, I know you do. But I think we should get cupcakes and celebrate that I have officially graduated from my Aspiring Superintendent's Academy.
You did?
I did yesterday virtually on Zoom.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I had no idea.
I know, because I was like trying to keep it on the DL and it's not like we've seen each other very much this week.
We have. It's like yesterday.
I saw you for coffee.
Well, coffee is my favorite time to see you.
I know. I love our coffee time together, but it was 15 minutes. And then I was out the door and was taking kids around, getting ready to take the boys up to Tempest, which is Zeke's favorite play area up in Vista.
What is that place?
It's called a free running academy. So it's where the kids can do parkour. They like jump off of buildings and things like that.
For real? They jump off the building?
Yeah, there's like
It's all stage stuff, right?
it looks like one section of it looks like Mario Kart, and then the other area is like trampolines, but you know, they limit their numbers now and they have a lot of cleaning procedures in place, but the boys had an absolute blast. I took the 3 of them last night up the 45-minute drive away. And they played for like 2.5 hours and got sweaty and were so tired by the time we were done.
Did they like pass out in the car on the way home?
Yes,
like,
2 of the 3 did.
Before you even get to the freeway, they're like out.
Well, we were running late on our way there, and so we decided to do dinner after. We were going to do a late dinner. So then I took them, and then I was driving around trying to find a place to eat because not every place is open, and I wanted to sit down. So by the time we got done with dinner, little Mason was sitting in the booth. He had his knees up, and he'd put the cloth napkin over his knees.
Yeah.
And he was using it as a pillow, and then he like folded over, and he was resting his head on his knees. And well, first of all, he was sitting up, and then his little eyelids kept closing. And I said, Mason, do you want to come over here, and you can lay on my lap, and you can take a nap while we're waiting to pay? And he's like, no, I'm okay. And next thing I know, he's like, eyelids are dropping. He's like asleep, sitting straight up, and then he like leans over, and then he's out. And then Jacob came over on my side of the booth, and he like leaned up against me, and he grabbed a clean cloth napkin and put it over him like a blanket.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where did you guys eat last night?
Cheesecake Factory.
The Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. They have a good kids menu, and it's cheap enough. And then we decided, because we got to have fun while you were working, that we wanted to bring home one of your favorite slices of cheesecake.
And I found it in the refrigerator last night, and believe me, it was gone in like 5 minutes. 5 seconds, really.
Well, what's been happening with you this week, Chris?
Nothing much. Been working, the usual stuff. Yeah.
Got a new bed liner in your truck, though, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes.
And Father's Day.
For Father's Day, Christine ordered me a truck bed liner from the Ford dealer. It is a plastic one that goes in. They have to install it. Well, somebody has to install it. And we had to take it over there twice already,
my gosh,
because
what an ordeal.
the one they ordered the first time was damaged, I guess, in the corner. It had a crack in the middle or something. So we sent that back, and then they ordered a new one, and then it was a delay. So then after Christine complained about it, she called and complained over there.
Well, I wasn't being a Karen. I just called and I said, I'm just a little bit concerned, because I didn't call. I went and I actually took the truck, because they told me to come on Wednesday and to drop off the truck.
We had
an
appointment. That's right.
And then I dropped it off, and then they said, oh, well, the part's not even here yet. And we don't know, it's going to be 1 to 5 days, even though they told me they were overnighting it. So that's why I was frustrated.
Yeah, you would think overnight would mean like...
Overnight.
Literally, yes. What it means in the title, overnight. But anyways, we did take it back. Oh, no, they came and picked it up from the house, took it over there.
I negotiated with that, Chris.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It took a lot of stress off our backs, because they came and picked it up and dropped it back off.
But when they came to drop it off, what happened?
I don't remember what happened.
Oh, well, I went out there to look at it, and there was an air bubble underneath it. And so I told them that I couldn't accept the delivery for a damaged bed liner, and then they needed to take it back and figure out how to uninstall it and get us another new one, only to find out that the air bubbles are normal.
Oh, well, I guess they are, but I haven't checked it since yesterday. So it's supposed to be sitting in the sun. It's supposed to flatten itself out in the heat. So we will see if that's what happens, because I had a bed liner on my previous F-150.
Right.
And I loved it, and it was great. I got it all done, and they did it literally in 5 minutes. I went there to buy it. The guy behind the counter, like, yeah, I got that. We can do it for you right now. He comes from around the counter, the salesman. And he gets a little dual driver out. He goes to my truck, and like literally in the parking lot where I was parked, he did it like right there. With this, it sounded more complicated.
Right. Yeah, it was. It was a little bit of an ordeal, but I'm so glad that you got it, and happy belated Father's Day.
Thank you. Now I can put some heavy duty like rocks or bricks, not that I'm going to anytime soon, in the back of the truck.
You definitely can.
Or anything heavy, because with the truck, it's brand new. It had that brand new shiny paint in the back of the truck bed. And you see that, you're like, that's cool for maybe a bag of groceries, something light. But you put something heavy or big or bulky back there, it's going to damage that.
Right, definitely. But I'm really excited that it finally got situated for you. And I'm really excited for this week's episode. We have another VIP guest coming in the studio talking about how to overcome struggles. And really the focus is on surviving. And we're going to hear from her right after this.
Hey there, K2 crew. We love having you as our loyal listeners.
To keep up to date with what's happening behind the scenes, check us out on social media.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter.
And don't forget to follow our Facebook page.
Yeah, tag us in your favorite fun stories, and guess what? You might just end up on the show.
And Welcome back, everybody. Today we have a very special guest on the show. She is a fitness-focused mom and fellow podcaster who is here today to share her story of moving from surviving to thriving. Welcome to the show, Holly Boyce.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey, welcome to the show, Holly. So how is your day going today?
It's going fantastic. The sun is shining and I got to go hike today, so I am very happy.
So where in the world are you coming to us from today?
I am coming to you live from Washington State. Eastern Washington, actually. Yes.
Wait,
so
Eastern Washington?
Yes, and I say that because every time I say I'm from Washington, they're like, "Oh, beautiful green trees and a lot of rain." No, I am Eastern Washington, wine country, desert, and I love it.
There's a desert in Washington?
I know, right? Nobody knows that.
I had no idea.
I had no clue. Seriously, though? Like cactus and everything?
No, not like that, but deserty enough that we have very, very good wine. We're going to give Napa a run for their money.
Oh, I love
bet.
that.
There you go. Are you a big wino? Are you a wine drinker?
Yeah.
Do you have a humanator, or what's that room? That room you keep the wine cellar? Do you have a wine cellar?
I don't. I wish I did, though. I have friends that have them, and I definitely probably wouldn't have enough wine. I'd drink it too quickly, I think.
Well, we have wine country near us here. We're in San Diego County, but just north of us in Riverside County is Temecula, which is like an up-and-coming wine area, too. And it's pretty hot there, and they have a lot of different wineries and tasting rooms. So maybe we just need to take a trip up to Washington wine country. Chris, what do you think?
Sure, it's a nice little drive, like a 10-hour, 12-hour drive, 15-hour drive. I don't know.
It would be great. We will welcome you anytime you're ready. Once we open back up again.
Oh, yeah. Minor details, right?
Yeah, of course.
Well, we are super excited to have you on the show today, and let's dive right in. We want to get to know a little bit more about you, Holly. Now, you and I met online in one of our fabulous social media groups that we got connected in and had a phone conversation, and I loved your energy. I told Chris, oh my gosh, she's so fun. Like, if she lived closer, we'd be besties. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, family, all that jazz?
Well, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I am a personal trainer, I am a 10-year cancer survivor. I don't know. There's so many, I have so many stories. I could tell you a million, but, basically the gist of my life is I went into family service work for 15 plus years, and that I thought was going to be my career path. And then I got cancer, and I heard the 3 words that, nobody wants to hear. You have cancer. And then everything changed and turned upside down. And when I was finished with all my treatment, my kids were 2 and 5, I think, at the time.
Wow. When you finished treatment, they were that little?
Yeah. Well, my last day of treatment, it was my daughter's 3rd birthday. So we kind of celebrate that day together every year. It's my cancerversary and her birthday.
So without getting too personal, what kind of form of cancer did you have?
Oh, I had breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Is that one of the most common form of cancer for women? Is breast cancer?
I'd probably venture to say that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say for sure, but I would assume yes.
Right.
So you're a mom, you have young kiddos, you get these 3 words, you have cancer. Can we back up just a little bit before that? Like, what was happening in life just before that diagnosis?
A whole lot of work.
Like, what kind of job were you? What kind of work? What'd you do?
Yeah. So I worked in family services. So I was for a long time, I was worked for Head Start. And so I was their family services manager. So I was in charge of all the family services that Head Start offered here in this program. And so I would train home visitors, how to go into homes and do the home visits and kind of be in charge of that. Head Start has lots of mandates and things like that. So I just had to make sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. And so that kept me very busy, almost too busy, 50 hours a week probably.
Wow.
And my son was so little. I know, it was a lot.
Could
it was
you take
a
him to
salary
work?
job.
Could you take him to work?
No, I wish. No. But I had family that was watching my son, but I was working all the time. And then I kind of had a few more jobs in there before the cancer hit, but it was all kind of in that same area of family services and then like literacy and things like that. That was what I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life doing, honestly.
Wow. And so how did you, because I mean, sometimes that cancer diagnosis comes out of the blue, but did you suspect something was off?
No, not at all. I was
Really?
30. Yeah, I was only 30. I didn't really have a family. Well, I know I don't have a family history. And now I know I have no genetic, disposition to that either. And so it was Thanksgiving Day and I was just adjusting my shirt. Everybody was getting ready to come to my house. And I was kind of fiddling with my shirt and my thumb went across this like ping pong ball that was just right under my skin in my right breast. And that was concerning, obviously, but everybody was coming over. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to deal with this on Monday.
Right.
And so I just kind of was like, okay, I'll deal with it later. But I was secretly a little bit worried and went to Dr. Google and Dr. WebMD. And
Oh my gosh, worst place to
They're
go.
great doctors. I love them.
They're really helpful, especially when you're scared.
Yeah, I totally can empathize with that. I've had 2 scares, actually. My first one was right around my 32nd birthday, and then the other one was just 2.5, almost 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And both times, same type of situation. And then you're like in the middle of something, and like, I really can't direct my energy and attention towards this right now, but all of my energy and attention wants to go there. So
Right?
it's almost like you're spending 75% more energy just trying to not think about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then like having to entertain in the holiday at that, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is
So,
exhausting.
so when did you officially make the trip to the doctor?
I went in that Monday. They actually saw me right away and got in pretty quickly, but it was pretty quickly determined that I needed to go check this out. They knew it was a mass of some sort because they could see it on the ultrasound. And it was pretty quickly. I say that, it took like less than a month, but that felt like an eternity, by the way.
Right.
Like, it felt like forever. And so then they actually decided to take it out and biopsy it at the same time. So they did that on the magical day of December 22nd,
Oh, wow.
2009.
Merry Christmas to you.
Right? That was rough. So then I found out, 3 days before Christmas that I had cancer because I just woke up to that diagnosis. So I was like, what? Pinch me again. Am I sleeping?
Right.
Because I was just joking with these guys prior. I was like, could you just kind of nip and tuck everything and give me like a new, fresh 20-year-old body while you're
There
in
you
there?
go.
already
There you
missing
go.
Stuff, come on.
Yeah.
And they all laughed. And then all of a sudden I like drifted off to my dreamland. And then I woke up and they're like standing over me like I died. And they're all like solemn and sad. And I'm like, what is going on, you guys?
Right.
And so that's how I got to wake up to that. But, I spent a little bit of time and my son was just in like kindergarten. So then I'm really kind of freaking out because I have a kindergarten son and a 2-year-old daughter. And I have to be their mom. What are you talking about? I can't go anywhere. Cancer is not in my family. Cancer's for old people. That's like what I
Right.
thought, like not
Yeah.
this.
Right.
I
So
was
then what
healthy.
happened after that? Like once you got this diagnosis, I've heard people handle that in a lot of different ways. Some get, really depressed. Others say, I'm going to beat it. But what would you say was your orientation to your diagnosis?
Yeah, so that's kind of where I think I differed from a lot of people because I felt like everybody was sad and I didn't want them to be that way. So I wanted to, I kind of had this like one day, maybe 2 days of just breakdown, why me kind of stuff. And then I literally went, I'm going to be the best dang cancer patient anybody's seen. And I am going to prove them all that like, this is not a death sentence. This is, I'm going to beat this thing. And it was just kind of from that moment, I was like, so I started wearing shirts that said, does this shirt make my head look bald? And bald is the new blonde and stuff like that. Like trying
Oh,
to make
wow.
them laugh and like wrote funny stuff. And that's how I wanted it to be.
So I have a question from the outside perspective. So for context purposes, both of my sisters, my 2 oldest sisters, are cancer survivors. And I remember getting the news. It's they both had the same type. It was not breast cancer, but I know that all of us got, very solemn and depressed. And I'm just thinking if my sisters would have approached it with that kind of attitude, I wouldn't have known how to respond. How did people respond to your happiness in the midst of what they deemed to be the end of the world?
Well, I think it's just it was more like, I think they first didn't know how to take it. They were like, what is wrong? She's in denial.
Yeah.
That crazy lady, she doesn't even know what's going on. I'm like, no, I know what's going on. I am fully aware. But I'm just choosing to look at what I can control, because at that point, cancer's already there. Like, well, technically it was out, but this is already happening. I cannot change what's already happened. All I can change is the way I'm looking at it. And if I'm going to spend every day like being sad and listen, like it made me feel more sad when they were upset. And so I'm like, no, I'm just going to kind of, at first it was kind of like I don't want to say cheer them up, because it wasn't really like, that's not the right word. But at first it felt like it was maybe for them, like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. And then what I discovered real quickly, was a gratitude journal that changed my entire life. And that journal to this day is the reason that I am kind of the way I am, because I was like, if I can write one thing every single day that went well, then I know that during the worst time of my life, something is good, then I can make it through anything. And after 2 months, I didn't even need that journal anymore. My brain, my mind, and the wiring in there was different. And I just saw things different.
Oh, so you say you wrote a journal during the entire experience of what you went through with the cancer?
I wrote a gratitude journal for the first couple of months. I think I made it 2 or 3 months, and then I didn't need it. I just changed, and I just saw things. I just tried to, like when you start looking at all the good things in the world, more good things come back. It didn't make my cancer go away. It didn't make my problems go away, or, my hair come back, but it made my attitude and brain focus on something else. And then it created more of those good things in my life. It was kind of crazy. And I was shocked that could even happen. And I also wrote on a blog and wrote like funny things and stuff like that. Cause they kept calling me and I'm like, this is cheaper than therapy. And I think that like, this could totally like, I can write this one time and they can all just read it.
Did you ever think about putting it down into a book?
You know what? I've thought about that so many times, and I need to. I just need to do it.
Yeah, Chris and I were having a conversation yesterday as we were prepping for the interview, and he's like, has she written a book or is it podcasting only? And I said, I think it's podcasting only right now. And he's like, well, this sounds like it could be something really well written in a book and, be inspiring to not just people walking through their own cancer journey, but families trying to support, and then really anybody going through hard things in life in general that seem like when they can't find hope, figuring out a way to help put wind in their sails. So
100%.
Write a book, Holly. We'll read it. Yeah. We'll buy it.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because there's actually an ebook. There's a little survival guide ebook, and then there is going to be a bigger one later. But with kids and his competitive sports and things like that, like mine, it just always kind of got pushed on the back burner. But it's definitely something that needs to be out in the world, I think, just to show people they're not alone.
But I do believe that you, instead of a book, you started something else, and that is a podcast, correct?
Yeah.
So how is that going along for you?
So thank you, coronavirus, actually, because that's the only reason I have one. Like I said, I was really busy before doing all kinds of kid stuff, and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I've wanted to podcast for years. And so I was able to do that, a little while back, and it has been awesome. It's, can I say what it's called?
Oh yeah. Promote the heck out of yourself.
Surviving Life with Holly. So Surviving Life with Holly, wherever you listen to podcasts. And it's kind of, the premise of the podcast is where everyday people are sharing stories of hope and inspiration, and taking more from their struggles than it takes from them, because that's really been my motto in life. Cancer and beyond, really, but taking more from whatever difficulty comes your way than it takes from you gives you that little bit of power back.
I love that. Now, is it focused solely on survivors of cancer, or who do you typically have as guests on your show?
No, it's survivors of all things. So obviously there's a lot of cancer survivors on there, because I am one, and I know a lot of them, and they all have
Right.
really good stories. But I've got a survivor on there of NF, which is like a flesh-eating bacteria. That was kind of cool.
Was it Chris Gordon?
Yes,
We had
yes.
him too.
Oh, wow, we just had him the other day.
Yeah, he was just on last week's show. Mm-hmm.
He was hilarious. And then just things like there was caregivers on there of cancer patients. There was we've got some people in the addiction world and in the domestic violence and grief, loss of children and family members and things like that. So a lot of really cool, inspiring stories. I just want people to feel that they're not alone when they're going through that journey, whatever that may be.
That's such a great approach. And I think that we all get more power to overcome when we hear the stories of other people overcoming things that are really hard. I know that when I was coming out of my previous relationship with some things that I needed to survive, I'm not going into details, my kid listens, but when there's things I needed to survive, quote unquote, hearing other people overcoming really difficult challenges gave me that energy to say, I can put one more step in front of me. Like I can go a little bit further. I can do this. And so your message is so needed in the world today.
Right. So how long have you been doing your podcast, Holly?
I started on May 1st.
This year?
Yes. Yes.
Woo! So
really
baby
new.
podcast. Congratulations.
Baby podcast.
We love it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you did it you've been doing it for a couple of years now.
No, I've wanted to do it for a long time. I even bought this equipment like 5 years ago.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I know. Because I always got nervous, and then it was weird talking to the wall, and I just.
Oh yeah.
Now I have no problem talking to myself.
Well, that's good. But you have guests now too, so I guess it kind of like it's more of a back and forth. It's kind of hard to do a podcast when you're talking to the wall, like you said. For me, it's like I gotta have Christine or somebody else to talk to.
It's super weird. And I do every Wednesday is called Walk-In Wednesday, and that's because I like to go in the closet, the walk-in closet. I'm going in the closet, guys, and then just talk about whatever I'm surviving or struggling with that week, and kind of offer, or things that I've gone through or whatever, but just that are like relatively relevant in my life. And so I go in there and it's just quiet, and that's where I go cry if I need to cry. And so it just was fitting that I went in the closet to go record a podcast.
I love that. And the sound acoustics are way better in closets
They
anyways.
are way
That's what I
better.
heard. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Mine's not big enough to like go in and close the door. It has a curtain, not a door, but I totally get it. So
Yeah.
Going off of what you were just saying a minute ago, talking about things you're surviving in the world of Holly right now, what is it that you're surviving, and what message do you have for our listeners about where they're at in life?
Ooh, what am I surviving right now? Oh man. Can I answer that with multiple things? Because I am surviving
Go right ahead.
homeschooling.
Oh,
Holy
yes.
cow.
Preach it.
That is insane. Homeschooling. I'm surviving waiting for unemployment. That's been fun. I'm surviving, that's really it. Those are kind of my biggest struggles, I think, at the moment. But I am thriving, I guess, more so than I am surviving at the moment. So that's good.
And how do you thrive? Like, what is your strategy for not just getting caught up in the struggle right now?
So I love exercise and working out, every single kind of thing that you could possibly do. I love it. So I love running. I'm a marathon runner. So that's always been very important to me for kind of clearing my head. Anytime I can get near water and just being outside, and that's a double whammy if I can run by the water. So, that definitely helps. Recently I've kind of been more, we've not been able to go as many places. So it's just definitely been more like meditative prayer, things like that, in terms of that. But, and then I love journaling, and this podcast has kind of become very similar to what my blog was back in the day.
Right.
Kind of therapeutic.
Audio version of a blog. It's really what a podcast really is. And I was talking to Christine earlier. I said, what do you think has more of an impact? Writing a book about your experience, or just podcasting, talking about your experience? I just kind of figure out which one has more of a greater reach. I don't know. They're both going to be living somewhere, whether you read it or listen to it.
Yeah. I think podcasting, because when I listen to like your podcast or other podcasts that I love, I feel like I'm best friends with that person.
Yes.
Like I've never even met him.
That's so true, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
It is 100%. It's like you feel like you're part of their life, especially when you're listening over time, that you get to hear their stories and the unique things that they're approaching. Like you said, you have walk-in Wednesdays. We do our recording on Saturdays and release like Sundays, Mondays. And so, we get to share on a weekly basis what's happening in our world.
Is your podcast a weekly podcast?
Yeah. Every Wednesday is the walk-in Wednesday, and every Saturday is the Survivor Spotlight.
Oh, wow. So 2 times a week. You're killing it, girl.
I got really prepared ahead of time. I had a lot of time. I'm telling you, coronavirus. Thank you.
Right.
So with coronavirus, have you found a really easy time finding a lot of guests coming on your show because everyone's home?
Yeah. And I do a lot of mine through Zoom, so it's just been really easy to. The biggest struggle, honestly, with that is our Wi-Fi being shared by my kids doing school. And
oh
my
yeah,
gosh, I know.
Slowed it way down.
Yeah, yesterday I was on a Zoom conference call for work, and then our 2 little boys were on Zoom for their live classroom meetings all at the same time, and I was doing a speed test on the internet. All the meanwhile, Chris is in here trying to build our website, and it's like I can hear the internet groaning. Like,
yeah,
I know. And I was like, why is it not working?
It's like I'm just waking up. Give me some coffee.
And we updated.
Right?
We just upgraded too. About a couple months ago, we upgraded our internet because I was like, if everybody's home, if everybody's running internet at the same time, we got to boost to whatever is the most maximum we can get in the neighborhood, which really isn't that much, right, Christine?
Right. It's still pretty slow, but I feel your pain. And then the homeschooling on top of it.
Oh my gosh.
Because how old are you?
No, yeah, my kids are older now, so they're 16 and 12, and so it's not that I have to physically teach the 12-year-old. I have to teach some things because she has a harder time in like math, and
Right.
Oh yeah,
that's a whole nother blog, or not blog. That's a whole nother podcast about my thoughts about that. But I have to teach her a few things, but most of the time it's just like, just do the work, you guys. Come on,
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Get off your phone. Quit making TikToks.
Yep,
That's all they
exactly.
do.
or
Exactly.
Fortnite. Are you kids into Fortnite?
No, not now. Like back, I think that was right on when my son was a little bit younger. It was just kind of coming out, and they were doing that a little bit. Well, she wasn't, but now now he has a license, so I don't really see him.
He
very
drives?
often. Yes.
How was it for you to like let him drive for the first time?
my
Yeah,
gosh.
give me
On his own.
tips because my son's 15 and a half.
I cried when he left, but now I am so happy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, can you go to the store and get? Well, it's a little bit different now, like with the COVID stuff, but I cried my eyes out the first time he left, and we have this app. It's like a tracker app. I
Oh,
know, I'm
really?
like psycho mom, but I don't
tell.
care.
Do tell.
I'm
Do
going to
tell.
tell you, it's called Life 360. There's your plug for that. Life 360. Life 360 will allow me to like watch him, and he also can watch me. So if I'm at Starbucks and he's like, yeah, can you give me a Starbucks? No, I'm not there. Yes, you are. Oh, dang it. But it's really helpful for tracking teenage people. So
Well, I have to ask this. Does he have his own car?
he does. He has a truck.
There you go. I was telling Christine, the first car for a kid now, is it a brand new truck or is it like an old used one?
Not a chance in the world it would be brand new. It is old.
There you go. There you go.
Telling you. Oh my gosh. No, he is not getting a brand new anything until he proves himself or buys it himself, honestly.
There you go.
Right.
I love that approach. I love it.
It's a conversation that we've been having with my son because, he's 15 and a half, getting ready to start his online. In California, they have to do online driver's training before they can get their permit and then license when they're 16. And we've been having conversations about what kind of car that he would want. And he listens to this show. So we've had this conversation before, but he wants a Tesla. And I said,
It's funny that you even say that.
yeah, that he wants a Tesla. And I fully believe that, maybe in 10 years down the line that he will save up enough money to purchase one for himself.
And then Tesla will be out of business by then. Okay.
But hey, he can do it, Chris. We believe that he can do it. But we've both been talking with him about your first vehicle will be a used vehicle and something that is not tiny, but not gigantic. It needs to
more normal, I
Yeah.
would think. More normal car. Doesn't make a charge every night,
Yeah. And
Right.
Chris keeps saying, I think that Zeke needs a truck. I think he needs a truck.
I've got a truck. My first car was a truck. Every first vehicle's been a truck, like a used pickup truck. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, and Zeke's dad, I think his first car was a truck too. So, like a little tiny, those old Toyota little tiny ones, like the little bench seats, that you can't get into trouble in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and less people, the better in your car. Like,
exactly.
Right. You don't need a big van or something.
No. He has a truck that I was able to pay for cash.
Yes.
Even better.
It's not anything amazing. But that, you know what? I feel like, and he likes it. Like he wanted his thing was like, I would like a Jeep Wrangler, like the 4-door ones. I'm like, oh, sure, you can.
Yeah, I love those.
Do you want maybe to get you a Ferrari or something? That'd be cool. Come on. I don't even have that nice of a car. Come on.
I had to sit my son down, and I actually broke down the cost of a Tesla based off of minimum wage and the number of hours it would take.
How many years it takes?
How many hours a week a teenager can work versus weeks of a year. And then he looks at me and he says, well, what if I made $30 an hour? And I said, when you're 25, yes. And so we went through the math, and then he said, okay, well, do you still believe that someday I can buy myself a Tesla? And I said, absolutely. Like, 10, 15 years from now, that's fine. But for
not
now,
your first car at 16. Are you kidding me? There's $100,000 car.
Yeah, no way. No. And even if I had the money to buy that, I wouldn't give it to him anyway. I'd be like, no, you need to prove yourself first, buddy.
Yep. They got to work for it.
Right. Well, I'm thinking about having my kids actually go out and pay for their car themselves and just, figure what they want. I think a kid that actually, even if it's an old car, that just an old junky car that they paid for with their own hard-earned money, they will take better care of it than the rich spoiled kid who was just given a BMW.
True. Very, very true. So that's funny that you say that, because I wish I would have started a little bit sooner, having him try to earn money, but he would like earn in money and then he'd buy like an Xbox so he was good at like saving for something, but the car was we thought it was like so far away. And then all of a sudden one day he's like 5 one day and then 16 the next. And I'm like, how did this happen so fast?
You've just given us a brilliant idea.
What's that, Christine?
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, well, actually, by the time this airs, like a month or two ago, we had a great guest on the show that was, she's the founder of a company called For Pocket Allowance. And so it has these different different saving pouches for the kids, like spending money, saving, investing, giving. I'm thinking the investing, because the kids have been struggling with, well, what does it mean to invest? Maybe that becomes the money that they save and set aside for their first car. Chris, you're welcome. I just answered your problems.
Thank you. And Holly, I don't know if you have a problem up there in Washington, but down here, Uber and Lyft is so popular everywhere. So a lot of kids, they don't even want to drive. They don't want a car. They just want to just Uber it. I don't know if you guys have the same problem or not, but...
No, I wish. That would mean we were a bigger city.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, is that if you Uber every single day, it gets so... It's like a car payment. Yeah, it's like a car payment.
Yeah. And you know what you could do is, one thing I actually did tell him, and we ended up not being able to do it, and then a whole lot of reasons why, but... was I said, well, whatever you save up or whatever you invest, if you're going to do that with your kids, be like, well, I'll match it. And so he's like, oh, cool. So if I come up with $20,000, then you'll pay the other $20,000. I'm like, yeah, sure. If you figured out how to do that, if you figure out how to do that in 6 months, then I'm going to take notes.
A legal way to do that in 6 months, right?
I'm going to copy you because that's genius.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to make $20,000 in 6 months, but go for it, kid.
That's so fun. Well, we have loved chatting with you today. I know we got off on a little bit of a tangent, not to distract from your fantastic podcast. And it just goes to show what a personable person you are. And I am sure that people will love listening to you. I know that we have, and we're really excited about your podcast baby being launched and out in the world. And so
congratulations on that, by the way. The first episode is always the hardest, isn't it not? The first one.
Yes.
It
was. Like the fear of like people not liking it. I was like, I know I'm going to have like 5 downloads, like my mom.
Why are you pointing at me, Christine? She's pointing right at me when you said that. What's up with that? Well, it's so true. We just threw it out there. We're like, well, if someone listens, great. If they don't, whatever.
Yeah, Chris thought at first it would just be like you said, like me, him.
5 people.
Yeah. And we're excited to see how your story grows and how it touches the lives of people from all different types of backgrounds. If you are interested, which we know you are, in learning more about Holly, you can find her on Facebook at Holly Boyce 411, on Instagram at Family Fitness Gal, and you can find her podcast, Surviving Life with Holly, on your favorite podcast streaming platform. We encourage you to go on over, hop over, subscribe, listen, give her a fantastic 5-star review, help her promote her passion project, and spread this story of not just surviving, but thriving with gratitude in life. And thank you so much, Holly, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are a blast. I love you lots. And we're best friends now. I appreciate it.
We're besties. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, what's up? It's the J-Boy Show. I'm Ezekiel.
And I'm Jacob. And I'm Mason.
And don't forget to listen to our new podcast on Apple Podcasts.
And don't forget to subscribe.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
We talk about sports, motors, engines, and all kinds of stuff.
And YouTubers.
And YouTubers. So don't forget to subscribe and listen in every Sunday.
All right, and keep moving forward.
Forward.
I loved that interview so much. I loved Holly's energy. Didn't you?
Oh, I did too. She was adorable.
Yeah, I loved what she was talking about and like talking about what she's surviving. I was reflecting on that, thinking about like, what am I surviving right now? Because I think all of us are in like this constant stage of like overcoming struggle. But what are you surviving right now, Chris?
To go further on that, most people, even people who are very successful, they're always trying to survive something, even though they appear on the surface that they got it all.
Right. And I think that sometimes in society, especially in the Instagram, Facebook age, that we like to like sugarcoat things and make everything look like glorious and happy and airbrushed and filtered. But I think there's a power to like normalizing conversations around struggle.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So like what are you struggling with right now, Chris?
Right. Oh, gosh, you're getting personal now.
Vulnerability.
I know. What I'm struggling with, I think, is to produce the best podcast possible. I am working on making our podcast one of the best podcasts in the world.
Right. So how's that a struggle for you?
Well, it's a struggle because what I do is I'm never, ever satisfied. By the way, here's a tip for you guys out there that are in podcasting, is that if you start to say that's good enough, or that's okay, then you kind of start to settle into like a very subpar podcast. Mm-hmm. Not say your podcast is subpar. What I'm saying is that if you want to be a superior podcast or a better, it doesn't have to be podcasting. It could be anything in life. Anything you're doing in life. Once you start settling and say, I guess that's okay, then you're never going to strive to that next level, to your goal of what you really can aspire to be. The version of what you thought you were going to do when you first started doing it in the first place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's it's like goals you have, like the vision board you have outside the hallway here.
Right. It's like this constant striving to be better and the struggle with being like, I think that one of the things that you and I've had conversations about is that you're always like trying to move forward. And sometimes I just want to be okay with where we're at, just to like pause and catch my breath. And so there's this like wanting to be better and balancing it with not like being a perfectionist is kind of what I'm perceiving. I think that the thing that I am grappling with or kind of surviving or struggling through right now is, you know, amidst this like shelter in place lifting, but not lifting, and the resurgence of COVID in our specific area. We've had a spike. Some of the biggest gains in California in the last couple of days is like not settling back into the fear. And, you know, I was in a rough place for a couple of months of the shelter in place for at least several weeks. Don't you think, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, Christine has been working from home for the entire time, and you haven't really left much to go do a few things, but you haven't left, like I've left every day for work, and I'm all around town for work.
Yeah. But even like when I take the kids out and we're going to something that should have so much joy, like being able to take them to a play event, I worry about like, are they coming in contact with other kids? Are they going to end up getting sick? Could one of them be sick and be exposing others? And then I think, well, I should just keep them at home, but then they need to be able to get some of their energy out. Otherwise they drive us nuts. And so, yeah, it's just like this. I'm trying to make my way through that right now.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job, babe.
Oh, honey, thank you so much.
And congratulations on the dissertation. No, was it the superintendent thing?
The Aspiring Soups Academy.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a year-long program, and I'm really excited to have completed it. And you know what would really lift my spirits even more to celebrate?
Oh, yeah. What's that?
I would like sing along time with Chris. Can we do that?
Well, everybody voted, and they all voted yes for, well, not everybody.
Well, who's everybody? Like, where did they vote?
We put this on Instagram.
Oh,
By the way,
yes.
it's on Instagram right now, but by the time you hear it, it'll be disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But on Instagram, I put a poll up. Do you want more sing-along time with Chris? And majority voted yes.
Overwhelming. It was like 91%, and the one vote that was a no was a bot.
I don't speak robot.
So can we do that? Can we have some celebratory sing-along with Chris?
Okay, we'll be on with that right after this.
And now it's time for your favorite hour.
What hour? I'm not doing this for an hour.
Your favorite section of the podcast. It's Sing It Sweetly with Chris.
Okay, by the way, everybody, I'm going to try to play the guitar here. And heads up, I have had any lessons on the guitar, so keep that in mind.
Hey, don't you keep the expectations high so you can crash them to the ground.
Or how about we just start off low and then we maybe like go up a little
You're like,
bit.
What? You're savant. You're so great.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sing a little song for you guys.
Sing It Sweetly.
I'll try. This is for Christine. Oh, actually, this was, if you're going through problems out there, or struggles. I just wrote that song just now.
Okay, let's go. Let's
As we
hear
come
it.
along. Okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
All right, I gotta adjust this here. Okay. You ready? All right. If you have problems in your life, you know you can just listen to me sing and go sing it away. As Christine laughs at my singing
Is that a cat?
What cat? This is not the smelly cat song, even though you wished it was a smelly cat song. This is my song for you.
Oh, we're going deep now. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, babe, keep going.
All right, hang on. I lost my place. I'm trying to read the sheets of music I wrote. It looks more like crayon. But,
Okay, let's listen to the second song that's on the album.
Oh, okay. That's the intro. That's going to be the EP release.
I'm pushing forward on the track. Let's go.
Okay. It's only because you guys wanted this, by the way.
All right, Keith Urban, let's go.
Okay. I told you so. And you're the best, but almost as good as me.
Oh, are you saying I told you so because of the Keith Urban song?
Exactly.
Well, that's pretty good.
You know, I had no lessons on the guitar, and nobody taught me how to play. So I just figured it out by buying this guitar today.
Okay, can you sing me a song about my graduation from my program?
Christine, she graduated from her program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was waiting for more than that I graduated. Can you serenade me a little bit more?
Oh, gosh, okay.
I know. Come on. I know
I'll
it's on
try.
the spot. I know you're on the spot. But
I know. I didn't write this in the show notes. Or any notes for that matter.
This is called Christine's an Aspiring Superintendent.
Okay. Did you know that where was Christine? She was a aspiring superintendent, but just inspiring, but not for real. She wanted to be just inspiring to be a superintendent, and she got accepted to be inspiring. Good luck with that, my love. Good luck with that, my love. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much, the world famous Chris and his Sing It To Me Sweetly. Well, I love it when you sing it to me sweetly. And, you know, we had a spike in listeners this week. And I think that it's because people got word of the fact that you were finally going to, you know, introduce us to your musical talents.
Sure, why not? I guess you can call it that.
Yes, it is. And, I'm working I'm officially his agent. And we are taking requests for small group concerts at this point in time. The rates are a little bit steep. Pay us in plane tickets, first class only.
Sure, that's it. Perfect. Well, you're welcome, babe, and you are all welcome out there. You're all welcome.
Everybody needs a little bit of joy, and it comes in the form of Chris on the guitar, then that is just fine. But, Chris, it is time for...
Shout Out Central.
Yes, it
where
sure
we say thank you for listening to our podcast. And the way we do that is we shout out the city that we can tell is listening to the podcast.
Or the country.
Or the country, too, yes.
And that's where we're going to start. And so this week, we had... Spain.
Hey, Spain. Ole. Ole.
Ole.
Ole.
Ole.
Ole.
Canada.
Hey, Canada. Hey. It's going to say, hey, Canada. Hey, don't you know?
Every stereotype today. Ireland.
How's Ireland?
It's a luck of the Irish.
Oh, look at the Irish.
No.
Lucky Charm. Time for some Lucky Charms.
No, that is so rude. I'm so sorry, my friends. Maybe that's why we don't have...
A pint of Guinea, and
I think that it's why we don't have as many countries, because you make fun of people every week.
I don't. I make fun of myself, too.
United States.
Good old America.
America.
Pickup trucks.
America.
Pickup trucks and hamburgers.
America. All right, Chris, what cities listening to us this week?
In America, the cities we got is Eugene, Oregon. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Eugene.
We appreciate it.
Gene.
Yes, you and Gene. Both listening.
Gene.
Yes, both you guys. Okay, next. Oxford, Michigan.
Oxford, Michigan. Yep.
I always got it wrong. Oxford, Michigan. Thank you for listening. We appreciate that. Now, this place, I wonder if they sell gasoline because the city's called Oil City, Pennsylvania. Thank you for listening.
Oil City, Pennsylvania. Maybe they actually have like refineries there.
Oh, I did. That's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah. Like
Or they thought it was a cool name and they named that back in the day.
Yeah.
And Pennsylvania is a pretty old state, so some of the cities are probably there way before they even invented gasoline, I would think.
Right, but not since before oil, different kinds of oil. So it's quite possible.
Maybe gas lamps, oil type stuff. Maybe back in the day. We never know. And last but not least is Sioux City, Iowa.
Yep.
Thank you, Sioux City, Iowa, for listening. We appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody who listens. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we love being here with you every week. So tune back in next week for another fun-filled episode with another amazing guest. You don't want to miss it.
And we will see you then.
Remember this week that life is too short to wake up in the morning with regret.
So love the people who treat you right, forget about the ones who don't, and believe that everything happens for a reason.
If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said that it would be easy.
They just promised it would be worth it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine. And until next week,
keep moving forward.